John, thanks for taking the time to join me here today. What brings you to the Rock Hall?
Well, we played a great show here in Cleveland last night and had a day off. So, of course, I filled my day off with a little bit more work. I'm a bit of a workaholic. I'm promoting a new book called Change of Season. It's a memoir that I just released about a month or so ago, and really proud of it. It took about 2 years to write, and I'm here today to talk about the book and meet some folks, sign some books, and play some music.
As folks read your memoir, what are maybe some surprises they may learn from reading it?
Well, I think one of the things that perhaps they might learn is that it's not, I think, your typical rock memoir. There's not a lot of dirt and there's not a lot of sensationalism. It's really a story about life and about transformation, and music is a recurring theme throughout the book, of course, and I talk about the early days of Hall & Oates and things like that. But I also talk about my family. I talk about the things that I've gone through and the kind of changes that have made me who I am, and that's really what the book's about.
There's some interesting stories in there about some of the songs, like She's Gone.
Sure. Well, yeah, I got stood up on a date, on a prospective date on New Year's Eve, and I figured if she wasn't going to show up on New Year's Eve, she was never coming. And I sat down on the couch and with an acoustic guitar, and started going, and she's gone, and came this little folk ditty that turned into a classic that I co-wrote with Daryl that has stood the test of time. So you never know where these songs are going to come from.
Right. It's a classic for sure. Yep. You guys, 6 #1 hits, nearly 30 top 40 hits, 40 million plus records sold. What do you attribute to your long-term and continued success over the years?
Well, I think we're both, Daryl and I are both, very hard workers. I think we're both dedicated, and I think the thing that's very similar about our personalities, because we have a lot of things that aren't so similar, but the thing that it is similar is that we're both dedicated to be lifelong musicians. When we started out as kids being musicians, it wasn't to make money, it wasn't to be a star, it was really a calling in a way. It was something that we just both had naturally in our DNA, and we've always tried to let that be the guiding principle behind what we do. The popularity, the success, the millions of records, the hits, they were all a byproduct of hard work and dedication and talent. So here again, that's one thing I always like to tell people, especially young kids, is that don't set out to be famous, set out to be good.
2014, go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What does it mean to you to be a Hall of Famer?
Well, 2014, we got our call to be inducted into the Rock Hall, and it was great. It was fantastic. I think in a way it was kind of almost felt like a Lifetime Achievement Award, because we worked our butts off, and we worked for years and years and years, and we carved out a niche that's unique to us. We have a style of music that no one does except us. It's for whether you like it or not, it's another story, but we own it, and so I guess that was the honor and the kind of the stamp of approval of getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
What was your reaction when you got the call?
I thought it was overdue, to be honest with you. We had been eligible for about 18 years or so, so I thought maybe one of these days. But it was interesting. I wasn't really like waking up every day waiting for the call for it to happen, but when it did happen, I sure was happy.
Induction night. Questlove, the Roots, induct you guys. Tell us about the ceremony.
Well, I think it was great to have Questlove induct us because he represents a modern era of Philadelphia music, and it's the music that that really forms the core of what Daryl and I do together. And so to have him, who's a more contemporary, younger artist and performer, and also an incredible music lover, to have him, induct us was really cool. Years ago, Daryl and I inducted Smokey Robinson, which for us was a big deal, to be able to induct one of our idols. So it was great to have Questlove. I think it was a great moment for Philadelphia music, since a lot of Philadelphia artists have not been inducted, and I think Daryl made a comment about that. The fact that Philadelphia has such a great music tradition that there perhaps should be more Philadelphia artists involved.